I be riding the wings of eternity. You're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Clack, clack. If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not. All right.
I hit a woman for the first time in my life, and I'm having fun.
Make it stop. Make the hurt stop, please. Like.
Tell him, please record your message.
Hey, baby. I know you're having, well, not the greatest day today, but I wanted to leave you this voicemail as a reminder of how much you really mean to me and all the things I adore about you. That beautiful smile of yours that I just adore so much. I love how fearless you are and how you're such a go-getter and you're constantly working towards your own goals. I treasure how open I can be with you and our deep talks. You bring so much joy into my life, and I mean it with every fiber of my being. Each and every time I say, I love you.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the show. Hit that like button on your way in. Thank you guys for coming. Please pull up a chair. Got a couple of things I want to talk about today. We're going to kind of go through a list of topics. Let's just start with the black women thing. So apparently it's true. I did kind of lightly touch on this before, but apparently the news is spreading around the internet ecosystem here.
In just 90 days, 300,000 Black women have been kicked out of the workforce. This has disproportionately affected Black women in education, health sectors, and community-facing roles. 300,000 Black students have been coming.
So education, healthcare, and community-facing roles, which is like, I don't know, secretaries, people who would be like your front line for customer service even. So they got rid of a lot of sales reps and administrative assistants or whatever.
Internet talking about HBCUs and specifically Howard University, about how one, they have additional bills.
Oh yeah, there's some drama happening with Howard University, man. I don't know what's going on with Howard, but apparently they money ain't coming in right. And I wonder how connected these two issues are. Because you understand Howard University is a part of the DMV area. I think it's in Northern Virginia. And this job cut is very, very heavily centered on federal jobs and jobs kind of maybe tangentially connected to the federal government. And it would seem like Howard would take a hit from that.
How past graduates have not had their graduation conferred, meaning that if they were trying to go to graduate school or if they were trying to get a job that required to prove that they had a bachelor's degree, they cannot do that because Howard has not solidified that these graduates have indeed graduated. In addition to the multitude of students who have had to set up GoFundMes to try to raise the money so that they can get their education. There are more countries on the continent of Africa than there is in the rest of the world that have been banned from coming to the United States of America.
We're going to come back to the Africa thing later. I hate to like retry old territory over and over again, but the story won't go away. So we're going to come back to it probably tomorrow.
And in addition to that, Black people have also been targeted largely when it comes to deportations. But y'all are talking about African braid shop. Y'all are talking about Black Americans not having any culture. Y'all are talking about each other as though you get the last laugh when the joke is actually on you.
Howard is currently having a scandal right now because students cannot pay their tuition. And I'm making this video to address everybody who is badgering these students saying, oh, well, you shouldn't have gone to a university that you can't afford. You shouldn't have did this, blah, 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 blah. Because it's not about that. This is no longer about people not being able to pay their balances. This is about a school becoming more focused on money and their business rather than their students and academia. For the 24-25 school year,
you guys correct me if I'm wrong here, but you're a college student and you're at sort of Howard is it's basically like Black Ivy League. Of all of the Black schools, especially in the HBCU network, Howard is sort of the most prestigious, about as close to Ivy League as the HBCUs will get, right? What's the yearly tuition to a place like Howard? Let me run to my infinite knowledge machine here. Yearly tuition at Howard U. The yearly tuition for Howard is for 2024 to 2025 academic school year. So that would have been the year that just closed. It's around 30, let's round it up to an even 36 grand, right? At 36 grand, it's not the students that are not paying the bill. It's the parents who are not paying the bill.
tuition was over $50,000 a year. If we want to do some rough math, $50,000, more than $50,000, but we're just going to say $50,000 with 12,500 students. How much money is that every year in tuition?
How many 19 to 25-year-old Black people can actually afford to pay that much money every year on their own and be a full-time student? the parents are running out of money too.
That's $625 million. And stay with me, our tuition is rising. $20,000 more. And it doesn't stop at tuition. Let's talk about revenue. How much revenue does Howard make every year? So let's account for 2023. How much did Howard make in revenue in the year 2023? $1.27 billion. Almost $1.3 billion. But these students who are struggling financially, who can't apply their payment.
Damn, Howard brings in they bring in $1 billion in revenue. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for some black kids to have. I'm trying to tell you, it's incredible.
Plans, who can't apply their scholarships, who financial aid is not being posted, they have to pay their $20,000 balance now. They absolutely need to. And let's not mention the consequence of this. If you don't pay your balance is getting sent to collections. Not only do you lose your spot and you are not able to register for classes, your tuition is getting your unpaid bill is getting sent to collections.
Damn, I just remembered. I think I gotta send my daughter a couple of bucks. It's about time, you know. First year in college. They need money more now than they ever did growing up. It's crazy.
For all my people who are considering coming to Howard this upcoming year, whether you're an incoming freshman, sophomore, junior, whatever, or even if you're in a graduate program, please reconsider. Absolutely weigh your pros and cons with other schools. If you can pay less and receive less stress by going anywhere else, go there. Follow the money. Go where the money is.
Go where the money is, ladies. Good advice. It's getting cold out here in these streets, man.
Job loss is being felt nationwide, especially among Black women in the labor force. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in February, more than 10.5 million Black women were employed. But by June, that number dropped below 10.3 million. That's a loss of more than 300,000 employees in just months. Some of that job loss can be attributed to cuts in the federal workforce and the dismantling of DEI programs in the public and private sectors.
Federal jobs and DEI hires. And I remember I got into this, I think I was over on the John Galt channel months ago. We were talking about Black culture stuff and for Black community stuff. And I pointed out how the Black community largely exists on federal government jobs and contracts. And that's sort of at the middle class. Like the Black middle class is largely built on our relationship to the state and federal government. So you got a lot of Black people who would like, especially if you pay attention to your like major urban areas with a lot of Black folk, a lot of Black people are congregating in like administrative positions and government offices or whatever, like your DEI, I'm not your DEI, your DMV, your child support, any kind of state, local office or whatever. It's a lot of Black women populate those kind of places in the urban area. And then at the federal level, it's harder for you to see the federal thing because it's not right in your face, like when you'd have to interact with your city government or your state government. But same thing with the federal government too. A lot of Black people, and especially in and around the DMV area, that's really why PG County is like a Black wealth mecca. It's because they all work for the federal government. So there's a lot of women who've gotten an opportunity to work for the federal government or have some relationship with the federal government. And what this translates into is strong and independent.
Gender economist Katika Roy joins us now. She recently wrote an article for MSNBC that examined Black women leaving the labor force, and she joins us now with more on what she found. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
300,000 Black women leaving the workforce in 3 months sounds like an alarming number.
Is that a white woman? What is this? What is that over there? A gender economist? What is that though?
How do it equivalent?
confused.
How and why did this happen? And why do you say it's not a coincidence?
Well, the job cuts, yeah, it's a good question. So if we take a step back, this is an economic alarm bell. The primary piece that we are seeing is the federal job cuts and the agencies that were actually targeted for those cuts, which such as education and healthcare, which are predominantly employed Black women. So, for instance, if you look at women's labor force participation and the percentage of Black women in the labor force, they make up about 6% of the labor force, but 12% of federal jobs.
Wow. And we've certainly seen that loss, and we felt that loss locally for.
Black women aren't even 12% of the entire country. And, we hear this word about representation all the time, but really, this is an over-representation. They do not make up 12% of the country, but they are employed at a rate of 12% by the federal government.
Sure, with the federal reduction, what kind of impact? So we talked a little bit about the economic effect. What kind of impact is the loss of Black women in the workforce having locally, nationally? I mean, what does it mean for the future when it comes to things like student loans, home ownership, and building generational wealth?
And that's a great point. So one of the things that we know is for every percentage point of women leaving the labor force, it actually hits GDP at about $164 billion. So in other words, the connection is 1% equals about 146 billion GDP loss. But then we have things such as housing, the spillover effects.
And Angry Snowman, you touch on something I've been pointing out for a while. How is it that racism is privilege plus power, right? That's the new racism equation that they've been working with for the last 20 years. Now, if you're going to tell me that Black people cannot be racist because we don't actually have access to power, then explain all these Black women who work inside the federal government. And these are just like blind, like faceless employees, right? We haven't even talked about the wave of Black women who are leading state and local government, leading police departments, right? During George Floyd, I think over in San Francisco, no, it was in Seattle when they had Chaz or Chop, there was a Black female police chief. There were Black female police chiefs and Black governors, not governors, but Black mayors and Black district attorneys. The last 4 years under Biden has been peak Black women exposure everywhere you go. I remember this famous night on Twitter when Twitter first started having spaces online. Some of you guys were listening. It was actually on this very channel years ago. I had to take it down for obvious reasons, but there was the infamous Twitter space. There are too many Black women in public spaces. That was literally the title of it, and it was like a breath of fresh air. Because it was literally a diverse group of people. It was a bunch of different guys, some Black guys, white guys, might have been an Asian guy up there. And they were all in unison about one thing.
That you were talking about: housing, healthcare, education, etc. And we've seen that even with inflation, right? So Black women on average earn 64 cents on the dollar, but the inflation rate as of last week is 3 times that for women's goods and services.
Let me ask you, while all of this news seems very, very bleak, is there an upside? How do we go about reversing this trend?
Well, one of the things that we assume is that policy is gender neutral. It's not. It's gender ignorant. And what I mean by that is when we make these cuts, we're assuming that it's gender neutral. It isn't. It's gender ignorant. And the issue is that it impacts everyone. It doesn't only impact Black women. It impacts the entire economy. Just as one example.
Nobody really worries about these policy issues when they impact men negatively. Like if 300,000 black men got fired so we can hire 300,000 black women, nobody would complain about the negative impact on those men's lives. They would just tell those guys learn the code or get a CDL or
Between
something.
1970 and 2016, women increasing their labor force participation added $2 trillion to the US economy. When we see black women leaving the labor force, we're actually shrinking our economy.
Wow. And as you wrote, that affects every single one of us. So when we talk about that big number again, 300,000 women, black women leaving the workforce in just a couple of months, what sort of trends did you see? Are they out of the workforce? Are they becoming entrepreneurs? Where are these 300,000 women going? What are they doing now?
That's a great question. We don't really know. What we can look at from historical data is that there are two things that are probably happening. One is that they are becoming entrepreneurs, so small business owners. That's one piece.
They're braiding hair. They're braiding hair and they're making plates. Getting back to the basic grind: braid hair, make plates, watch babies.
Or they're joining the informal economy. So they may not be participating in the formal economy, which is tracked by things like the monthly jobs report, but they're participating in the informal economy.
Let me just ask a last question here for the many.
Yeah. Informal economy: braid hair, make plates, watch babies, and box rental service. They will open up a box rental service, 24-hour box rental. You call at any time, you'll rent out a box. Just like a public storage.
Women who are watching right now who are in this space, what would you tell them? What would your advice to them be?
Tell your story. I would say stand up and speak out. We need, the stories that I have heard just from publishing this article 5 days ago are incredible, and we need to hear your voices, and we need you. This is not just an issue of equity or fairness. This is actually an issue of economic opportunity for everyone.
All right. Gender economist Katika Roy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your perspective.
It's an issue of economic opportunity for everyone. Remind me to feel bad about this later on. Now, I want to do something a bit, I want to have some fun with these two clips I got stacked up next to each other, because really, I would have loved to have done this. I really wanted to do this as its own standalone video. And maybe one day I'll go back and edit this section out of the live stream and re-drop it as its own video. But there's a conversation happening right now between Matt Walsh and Andrew Tate, of all people. And really, it's weird. Matt Walsh is kind of dumb to the idea, even though I want to agree with him over Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate is sort of preaching polygamy for men, right? Having multiple wives. And Matt Walsh is on the side of traditional marriage, man, woman, child, right? And obviously Walsh is Catholic and Tate's a Muslim or whatever. And so there's that whole aspect behind their goals. But the thing is, polygamy did not build Western civilization. And in the world that practices polygamy, low key is the enemy of Western civilization. So I don't want to cross wires like that. But even though I would have liked to be on Matt Walsh's side, if we're talking about regular marriage, a monogamous marriage versus a polygamous marriage, yeah, I'm totally on your side when it comes to the Matt Walsh thing, right? No, Snowman, I still have not got Instagram. I got halfway through downloading Instagram on my phone, and I just said, I hate this shit, and I gave up. I felt like it was too many niggas ahead of me, so I just gave up. There's too many niggas on Instagram. That's why Twitter is like my main social media. The lowest ring of Black America doesn't really populate Twitter like that. a lot more political content on Twitter too. So, I'm not really for the gram. But anyway, what was I saying? All right, Matt Walsh. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Matt Walsh versus Marriage to the Modern Woman.
The setup, which Andrew Tate describes and promotes, where men have children by many different women, has lots of historical precedent. It does. This is the way that primitive societies have operated for thousands of years. And today, this strategy, if we can call it that, is very popular in certain communities in this country. And you can always spot those communities because they're the ones that are the most dysfunctional, the filthiest, most destitute, and crime-ridden places in the country.
I don't know if I'm going to actually post this because this is super vulnerable for me and I'm a pretty open person. But earlier this year, I told my husband I wanted a divorce. And this would probably shock a lot of my friends and my family because I hadn't told anybody, okay? I walked myself through the logistics of where would I live, how would we split the time with the kids, who gets the dog, where all of those things, okay? Had a full breakdown.
Show me the murder rate and the average yearly income in any neighborhood, and I will tell you whether most of the children in that neighborhood have a father in the home or not. And I will never be wrong. Andrew Tate talks about this kind of lifestyle as though it's natural. In a post on Sunday, he made that claim explicitly. He said, quote, "Monogamy isn't natural for men. Men are men. This is how they'll always be." And he's right in a certain way. It is natural. It's natural in the sense that it appeals to our most base and uncivilized impulses.
I feel like I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. There is not a single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. Let me be very clear about that. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet. And that is probably the reason, why I have not left.
Another word might be primitive. An even better word would be animalistic, which is why it's so commonly found in the animal kingdom. Reptiles and fish behave this way. You're not going to find a monogamous lizard or shark. Monkeys are almost always non-monogamous. Go down the list of animal species, and they almost all approach family formation the way that Andrew Tate prescribes. But the problem is that we are not monkeys or lizards or sharks. We are human beings. And my controversial contention is that we should act like it. Is monogamy natural? Even better, it's supernatural.
Okay. Our relationship and what my expectations are for my marriage and what they always have been are not met, right? Which I don't know if anybody's are. The reason that pushed me to even bring up divorce and talk about it was the fact that I feel like I can't be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old. I am a mom of 3 and I still don't know who I am. So for me to be like, oh, I can't be myself or you don't love me for who I am isn't really fair because I don't know who I am. I'm figuring that out every day. But the reason why I wanted to share this on here in the first place is we are coming up on our 10-year anniversary. We're going to Mexico, to Cabo for our 10-year anniversary trip. And we're rewriting our vows. We never wrote vows in the first place.
Man and wife become one at the altar. They are bound together by the vow they made before God. This is above our base instincts. And so is composing a symphony or sculpting the statue of David out of a massive hunk of marble. These things are achieved Just like any great thing is achieved by rejecting temptation, subordinating our base desires, embracing some measure of hardship for the sake of something far greater than whatever momentary pleasure we can experience by giving into them. And there is nothing in this world more manly, more masculine than that. In fact, I would say this is the very definition of masculinity. Can you do the harder thing for the sake of the greater good? If you're going to impart one thing to your sons and your daughters as a father, it should be this: teaching them how to do the harder thing for the greater good. And if you can't, or if you won't, then you aren't manly.
We didn't have vows when we got married. And I'm struggling to write my vows, like to write a vow. And I think that's because I still feel very unsure in our relationship. The one thing that we finally talked about this past week together, because it's just been something that since we kind of talked about it and I brought it up and we committed to change and we committed to working on our relationship. I started my own business. He quit his job. Roles have changed. Life has been crazy. And we just haven't come back to talking about the subject. And I brought it up again because I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, like writing these vows is hard. I don't feel like we're any closer. I don't feel like anything has really changed since I brought this up 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever. And I want to work on our relationship. Like at the end of the day, of course, I could get a divorce and try to go find the love that I'm craving with somebody else. But that's going to come with its own hardships, its own complications, and ones that I'm not willing to take on, right? I love Ryan. He is the best father, okay? I just need to learn how to explain what I need from him in our relationship, and he needs to be able to give that, and I need to be doing the same for him so that we can both, like, in 10 years from now, in the next 10 years, look back and say, like, we put in the work and we finally have the marriage and the relationship that we have always wanted.
And no matter how much money you have or how much you can bench press, doesn't matter. Now, Tate says that men will be men, and yes, that's true, but will they be good men? Will they be men of virtue and fidelity and discipline? They can be if they pursue the higher thing. In a similar way, I might say that many men will father children. That's easy to do. But will they be fathers? They have children. Will they raise them? That's the hard part. Now, I keep talking about hardship and difficulty, rightly so. But I don't want to make it sound like being a faithful husband and father is nothing but misery and drudgery, and all you can do is just grit your teeth and bear it.
And that is what I want. I guess the reason why I'm coming on here, and if you've made it this long, that's really nice. What have you done in your relationship to get to that point? If you have been in a place where we are and have worked through it and have found things that have brought you closer or that have given you that relationship, like I'm just, I guess, asking for advice. Like, what have you done in order to get there and what has worked for you? We're honestly willing to try anything. We have done therapy and counseling before. And it was fine, honestly. It wasn't like my favorite thing, but I'm willing to try that again. And I don't know, books, podcasts, like what have you guys done that has worked for you to get your marriage to where you want it to be?
That's not the case. I love being married. I love being a dad. It's a lot of fun much of the time. It's a source of great joy. That's what happens when you simply let go of your childish need to put your own immediate gratification before anything and everything all the time. You discover an ability to do the harder thing and actually enjoy it. The way that guys like Tate describe marriage makes it seem like, we're living in entirely different universes, and perhaps we are, because he describes marriage like it's a labor camp. A man is imprisoned by his controlling, ungrateful, promiscuous wife who runs out to cheat on him as soon as he leaves for work in the morning. He makes it seem, or outright claims, that It's essentially impossible for a man to find a good, faithful woman who will bear his children, stay true to her vows, and respect and love him until he dies. But how can it be impossible? I am currently in such an arrangement. I know many men in the same boat. If you don't know any truly happy and faithful marriages, then I would suggest that the problem isn't with marriage. It's that you are surrounding yourself with awful people. Now, finally, back to the subject of raising boys. I will say that if you want boys to become men, you cannot leave them to be raised almost entirely by women. Boys need the daily guidance and example that can only be provided by a man who lives in the home and has committed himself to that family and that family alone.
I just don't like thinking, okay, we've been married for 10 years and we've kind of like been at this same point the whole time. I just don't want to look back 10 years from now and not have tried my best to have this like relationship that we both want and that we deserve and that our kids deserve to see in us. So I'm kind of being vulnerable and posting this on here, but I would just like to know like what has worked for you and what advice I guess you would have for me. Thanks.
See, the problem that Matt Walsh has in this particular debate, and almost everybody on the right, everybody like outside of the manosphere, they kind of take this tone, and in hell, a good chunk of guys in the manosphere take this tone too, where all of the rhetorical pressure is put on men to behave better. It's put on men to perform better. It's put on men to expect less but still do more. And the problem that you're always going to run into, and this is a very structural, civilizational problem, right? You will not have anything like a functional marriage if you're raising boys to seek love from women, yet you're raising the women to do whatever they can imagine. Like the boys have to be raised to be good husbands and fathers, but the women can be raised to do whatever they want. You can be a librarian, you can be an OF star, you can drive Uber Eats, you can drive Uber Box around town. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do as a woman, you are a good woman. This is not the recipe to make marriage. And so for Matt Walsh to kind of double down on the male responsibility of it all, you're just going to get drowned out in the infinite voices talking about male responsibility. That's all anybody ever has to offer to men is responsibility, right? How can you sell men responsibility when the partner is obviously shaky? They're flaky at best, flighty at worst, and there's really nothing you can do as a man to mitigate or control any of that nature. You just have to grit and bear it. I hope you pick the right one. If that's the case, then Tate makes a better argument. If they're all going to be disloyal and they're all going to turn on you at any moment, you might as well have 2 or 3. Keep them in a rotation. That way you'll never be without one. One comes in, one goes out. You might as well. It makes the polygamy argument speak for itself, right? Because, and this is the thing about female nature. Female nature is inherently polygamous. It's not something that maybe comes up all that often. I didn't even notice I had a couple of super chats. I'm gonna get to that in just a minute. But female nature is inherently polygamous, right? The idea that women wait at the finish line for the champion Or think about it this way, right? If you're the king, you don't have to force women into your harem. That's as basic of an analogy as you can make it, right? When you're the king, you don't have to force a woman into your harem. Women are inherently polygamous, right? But women's polygamous nature does not build Western civilization. And so that is actually one truth that the feminists have locked onto. They kind of weaponize it, but it is a truth that the patriarchy has to subjugate women's sexual nature. Now, to be fair, it also subjugates the male sexual nature too. So, like, only the king can literally have a bunch of women. If you're just a dude, you kind of have to lock into one chick and make your empire work, you know. And then on top of that, if you're living in a if you're living in a patriarchal structure, your outside kids are a threat to your empire, right? Because your bastards, they divide the pie in a negative way. You want the pie divided amongst the kids in your house. You don't want to have to divide the pie amongst the kids in your house plus the couple of kids you had down the block, right? So in a lot of ways, patriarchy was constructed because women are polygamous by nature. And if you want more of the men to actually cooperate with the patriarchy, then you have to subjugate the women so that more men can have a fair deal with more women, and then we can have a more productive Western civilization. That is literally the order of things, right? Hey, listen, Chocolate Bunny, thank you for being honest. Now, when you type 5, 6 O's in good man, one of those O's stand for dick. When you spell good man with like 4 O's in there, one of those about 2 or 3 of those O's stand for orgasm. About 4 of those O's are the big O. Because women are savage like that too. They have a base nature they can't avoid. They like to pretend like they don't, but they do. It's just that men, generally speaking, especially men in Western civilization, we don't really speak openly of female nature and women's evil and women's sexual proclivities and all that. Oh, but they're savage, disgusting little creatures. You just got to get to know them.
I think for a lot of women, and I'm going to say that I speak for a lot of women, and especially like in this day and age, I think that a lot of us are single because men, honestly, y'all don't approach women no more.
To go approach her don't mean I want to come approach you. I don't have to.
Real quick, before we get into this, shout out to my man Drew Beats with that 199 super chat. He said, "Hey Matt Walsh, what do the girls have on you, bro?" Matt is just, traditional cuck pill, bro. He's a conservative cuck pill guy. Shout out to Matt Walsh. He'll be the last to know. His wife is gonna let him know what's up. He'll never hear it from me. He got to get it from his wife. And then True Hype with the $10 super chat, he says, "Never go full Riri." And this is such a boomer argument by Matt, where he's arguing from a point most have never started at. And I can see why Andrew Wilson criticized him in his take as well. Yeah, and shout out to Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson's another married guy, religious guy. And so he has some of the same kind of ethical claims that a Matt Walsh would take, but Andrew Wilson totally understands, like, trying to sell men a religious marriage in an environment where the religious scheme isn't the full environment. This is not the order. Like, Matt Walsh is married in a sort of microcosm. It's like a protected bubble. He's not really operating. He's not swimming in the regular pool that everybody else swims in. And so for Matt Walsh and a lot of guys like Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro is another one of those guys. They kind of argue from behind the gated community wall, right? And when you're trying to argue from behind the wall of your gated community, it just kind of looks like you're shitting on the way it really works in the real world. And so a guy like Matt Walsh arguing that way, he really doesn't understand, or he seems to not understand how it is in the real world, where at least Andrew Tate, you know, for all of his deal with the devil that he may represent, he's arguing from a more real world perspective. Like, this is what it is out here. If you're capable of getting it, it's better to have multiple women than to just be faithful to one. Because once you do that, she's going to feel like she's conquered you, and now it's on to the next one. Like, they have an entire logic and a rationale about how they approach men in relationships as well. And what if your blue pill, Bible approved approach to women only feeds their savage little ego? Has it ever occurred to you that she wants you to go to church because the pastor will cuck you on her behalf? Anyway, we'll get out of that. We'll get out of that. Shout out to my man Drew Beach. Shout out to True Hype. Yo, smash that super chat button from me.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! Yeah! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
Okay.
And it don't take nothing away from you.
But that wasn't the question. She was saying men don't approach women anymore.
Because
And
after
then
10,
you-
20,
okay,
30
so-
years,
okay.
listen, after decades of men approaching women, and I use one example of me, a personal example, but after decades of men approaching women and getting clowned for it, I didn't come here for that. Go to the club. I ain't come here for that. Try to holler at you at church. I didn't come here for that. Try to talk to you in the grocery store. I didn't come here for that. Try to talk to you in the parking lot. Now I'm a creep. Now I'm stalking. Now I'm all of this and that. No, ma'am. Okay, we get the message. You put the yield sign up. You put the stop sign. We were taught to stop when we hear and see that stop sign. This is what we were taught. No, sweetheart. No, baby. I'm trying to tell you. No, I'm telling you about us. Listen, sweetheart. If you don't mind me getting the mic back.
I appreciate your conversation. I'll give you the mic back too, but I want everybody, I don't want to holler. Right? I don't want to holler. All right. I want to talk in the same tone that we talk. Right? It's conditioning. Decades of understand what it's like to be in these shoes. What it's like to walk in this skin, in this environment. It's not to pass judgment on nobody, but it's to say after decades of us being taught that this is how we gotta be. If this not what the women like, this ain't what we're doing. It's just that simple. And it's unfortunate that some will come along and desire these things, and then it backfires. But it's not to get you to agree with me. It's to get you to understand why. This is why. It's not to take shots at nobody or anything, but this is why. So I'm going to sit back to avoid a bunch of things. And when that time is right, it's going to happen. Trust me, it happens all the time. I don't have to, that if a woman want my attention bad enough, she going to get it. Without having to go out of my way to cause conflict or potential conflict that we were taught and shown it creates when we come into your space uninvited.
Okay.
Yeah, dudes ain't trying to pet that shark, Freeman. Niggas been out there trying to pet sharks in the wild for years. And do you know the overall success rate of trying to pet a shark? Yeah, it's not that high. It's actually not that. As it turns out, sharks don't like to be touched. You see, look, sharks don't like to be touched. They just be out and about with their shiesty mask on, trying to exercise and buy groceries. They don't want you niggas trying to touch them. Stop trying to touch the sharks in public. Just let the shark swim along. You know, shark got to keep moving or it's going to drown. Let the shark drown. I mean, let the shark swim. Let the shark go, man. You out here trying to touch on sharks, man. Shame on you niggas trying to touch on these sharks in public. Did you guys know that allegedly there was a war on black women's weight? Allegedly, because I still see a lot of fat chicks out here, so we haven't won much in the war yet. But allegedly, there's a war.
Ain't no war on black women's weight. If you want to see a war on somebody's weight, go over to some of these other races and see how strict their men are when it comes to weight. A lot of these other communities, the women know to keep their bodies under control and keep their weight under control because they men don't play. Black men have given grace for a long time when it comes to addressing black women's weight. They just now really coming out and talking about how dissatisfied they are with the weight of the women in the community. It's 2025 and a lot of y'all are still stupid enough to think that a man having sex with you means something, that it means that you're desirable, that it means that you're attractive. And because a lot of y'all are so male-centered, even though you lie and say you not, you hold on the extra weight just to keep that butt that you think that you got, right? A lot of y'all have been past thick, right? Nothing about you is thick. But you got a bunch of low vibrational pookies who be lying and telling you what you want to hear all for the sake of having sex with you. And because you're stupid and you believe that a man wanting to have sex with you means that you're desirable and that he actually wants you, because you still haven't figured out in 2025 that there's no correlation between a man having sex with you and a man actually wanting you. You would think you dum-dums would know that by now, but I done seen several of y'all make videos and y'all sitting there talking about, well, they can't care about my weight too much because I still get ends, I still get dudes still smashing and ain't complaining. No, they not complaining because you still giving it up, stupid, right? But it don't mean that they don't like your body.
For
it
real.
Don't mean that they still ain't telling their homeboys how.
They not complaining because you don't talk shit to the people who serve you food. You feel me? So as long as you're going to eat at that restaurant, you're going to be nice to the person that's delivering that food. Same thing. Same thing. You don't want them to spit on your hamburger? All right, just be nice. Keep your mouth shut.
Disgusting they think you look with your clothes off, right? None of that is still not happening just because they sleep with you. The fact of the matter is a lot of y'all can't get to the next step with these men in relationships because they don't like your body. All right, you might be cool, you might be having sex with him, but at the end of the day, he don't picture himself being with nobody who physically look like you. That's why a lot of y'all ain't getting no dates. That's the reason why you only get you up late text messages. Like, they don't want to be seen with you in public. They don't want to be associated with you. They don't want people knowing that they mess with somebody who looks like you. And that's just a harsh reality for a lot of y'all to accept. So you have to lie to yourself and tell yourself that these men actually like you just because they're willing to smash you because you're dumb. Because ain't no way in 2025 you still believe that. But y'all definitely still believe that men sleeping with y'all actually means something. And again, the men are at fault for this. A lot of the men have lied to y'all, told y'all that y'all was thick when you've been past thick. Nothing about you is thick. It actually, everything about you is thick, right? Arms, stomach, legs. But I said in another video, a lot of y'all won't get in the gym and lose weight because you so scared of losing that big sloppy butt that you'll keep it just so that you can have it because you feel like that's the best thing that you got to offer. You don't feel like your face really hitting on nothing. And the only time you really get compliments or men really say anything to you is when it's about your body. So God forbid you lose the one thing that's desirable to men when you're so male-centered and the only thing you care about is your desirability when it comes to men. So a lot of y'all will skip out losing weight just so you can keep that big, wide, sloppy mess in the back of you that you call a fat A, right? Just so that you can stay desirable to men who only want to sleep with you and don't see nothing else with you in the future. But at the end of the day, stop it. There's no war on nobody's weight, because if it was, you'd realize that you've had it easy when it came to how black men address black women's weight. And you would see these other communities, they don't have almond moms for nothing. They train their daughters from the time they born to keep that weight under control and to stay skinny. So be for real.
It's no cap, bro. I told my oldest daughter, listen, the easiest thing to do to be pretty is to not get fat. That is the easiest way to stay pretty. Just don't be fat. I'm telling you. It's like such a life hack, man. Makes so many other things easier if you don't get fat.
Black women are so out of shape. Like in comparison to Black men, they really need to get in the gym. That's what I keep seeing up and down my timeline. And I fear that it's actually time that we bring back people who have credibility, who have gone to school, read the books, done the research surrounding health and nutrition. Because now we just have a ton of people who are extremely loud and they're just giving their opinion and they're trying to label it as facts. They go on a little walk, they pick up their phone, and now they think they have credibility, so they want to talk to the masses. They eat a salad or they drink some green juice or whatever they do, and now they have some credibility to the point where they can speak to the masses. And I will also say this. Being fat does not mean that you don't love yourself. It does not mean that you don't have self-discipline. I am a woman. I just got a 4.0 last semester as a 3X while working, and I'm a mother. I'm a baby mama, okay?
Yo, her numbers are crazy. A 3X, a 4.0, and a BM. Her resume is all over the place, man. She a 3X, a 4.0, and a BM. And I wonder how many kids she got, because there's probably a number. There's like probably a 2 BM or a 3 BM or something. She's probably more than one. Biggest she is probably more than one. She got crazy numbers, bro. A 4.0, a 3X, a 2 BM, a 0 baby daddy. She got wild numbers, man.
That does not sound like the actions of a person who doesn't love themselves. That does not sound like the actions of a person who does not have self-discipline. But let's flip it. The people who were at the Coldplay concert, both white, they both looked like they were fairly in shape. They were cheating on their spouses. Homeboy even had to step down from his job. So not only have they impacted the business, not only has impacted his pockets, the kids are now impacted, the other spouse is now impacted. That's a lack of self-discipline, because he could have just said no. She could have just said no. That's a lack of self-love. You know what I'm saying? So, and these are fit people who are making these poor decisions. So just because you can see a fat person,
her fingers look like little breakfast sausages.
Flaw, I'm just going to put it in quotes because I don't think being fat is a flaw. I think I'm beautiful, and I'm always think that. But just because you see something that you deem as a flaw does not mean that, for one, it's a flaw, and does not mean that you're better than them or you're above them. You drink yourself to sleep. You dope yourself to sleep. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna get too deep. We gonna stop it there. But yeah, if you're fat, just love yourself and block out the noise.
You're gonna love me. Yeah, you're gonna love me. And I am telling you, this weight ain't going nowhere. I'm eating without you. Yes, I'm eating without you. And you, and you, and you. You're gonna love me. It's crazy out here, man. It's wild. So wild, so wild. Well, I noticed something a minute ago. Oh, okay. Shout out to Freeman's Journal. I've been a member for 3 months with the super chat here. I actually saw that post when you typed it in the chat clean. I saw it without the super chat, so I got that queued up. But thank you for that. We're gonna pull that up next. And Freeman's Journal, tell me exactly what that is, because I opened up the link already. Yeah, the spill.info. What is this leaderboard thing here? I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. I need to ask you about what this is anyway. But shout out to Freeman's Journal for that. And then there was somebody else, Dig Thug, I think was in there. Dig Thug with the 10 ball. He says, this may sound defensive, but I feel like other groups that prioritize the face over the butt are more consciously advanced. Those who only gravitate toward the bottom half only are like baboons. Ooh. Ooh. Feel some type of way about that.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
Dig Thug, you are maybe even unknowingly tapping onto something I discovered recently. There is a phenomenon. You never really see high class elite women with giant breasts or really giant ass, right? There's technically like a whole survival strategy. Like, you know, poor dumb girls, they're better off having giant breasts and giant butts for survival reasons, right? Because, you know, you're more likable to a guy. A guy's more likely to go out of his way for you. But the elite, refined women, they don't tend to have a giant either this or that, right? And I think there is you're kind of speaking to something with the elites, the upper class, maybe, where definitely, you know, a big giant butt is out of it's you know, that's low tier, right? And then big breasts are kind of higher tier than big butts, but even that has a limit. And so you're kind of loosely brushing against something that I haven't properly formatted, but there's definitely an upper class boob theory. There is most definitely an upper class boob theory that I'm noticing, and I'm trying to work out the edges on it. But it's real. It's definitely real. You don't really see like the elites, you know, the royal this and that with overpronounced body features, right? They tend to have, you know, they want to go for the face. They want to look nice and regal, but they don't have overpronounced body features. But I gotta think more on that. I'm telling you, it's something I've been noticing lately, man. We're working on a boob theory. You know me, I got all kind of theories about all kind of things, man. I'm just a student of nature. I'm working on my theories, man. But shout out to Dig Thug, man. Hit that super chat button, man. Be like Dig Thug. Smash the super chat button for me. Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls. All right, now let's talk about this T app. So for a while now, there has been something like an online Facebook group. You know, are we sleeping with the same men? And it's sort of blown up into like a proper app where the women can now not only trade notes on a local level, because it was like a Houston thing. Now it's just a national app. And one, because, you know, the nature of women is to attack with social weapons like character assassination, it gives a lot of women an opportunity to just straight up lie about guys. Because the theory is, as a woman, you can join the app and then post anonymously about whatever guy that you want to post about. So you can put up his picture, his identification and all that, and then tell any story you want to tell about this guy. Now, obviously, This is just ripe for abuse. Now, let's take a look at the founder. This is Sean. This is Sean Cook. Sean Cook is a big gay man. And I don't know how much of this is connected to Sean Cook being a gay man and Sean Cook opening the app, but according to his own release here, T was born from a deeply personal mission to give women the tools they need to date safely in a world that often overlooks their protection. Founder Sean Cook launched T after witnessing his mother's terrifying experience with online dating. Not only being catfished, but unknowingly engaging with men who had criminal records. Realizing that traditional dating apps do little to protect women, Sean knew something had to change. That's why he built T, the first ever dating safety platform for women. Once again, Sean is a big gay man. Sean didn't like watching his mom bang criminals growing up to be a big gay man. And now he finally gets to do something about it. Sean did not want to watch his mom bang disgusting dudes all through his childhood. He hated it. He hated it. And now that he's a dude out here banging disgusting dudes, he wants to protect his mom. Hi, Sean. Everybody say hi to Sean. Now, I think the T app has been taken down officially because, of course, it was ripe for abuse. And what really happened is that in order to get onto the app, you had to prove that you were a woman. So they had some kind of identification process. So women were uploading selfies and driver's license. Some of these women were even uploading like their State Department drivers, their State Department IDs, like top secret identification stuff. Some of these women are really reckless with their personal data, and they're working for the federal government. But anyway, all of these girls' information was given to Sean. You see Sean on the screen. Hi, Sean. Sean has your data, and Sean lost your data. Yeah. You guys trusted Sean, and now all your data is out in the free world. Everybody say thank you, Sean.
This T app is all fun and games, but y'all better pray that these men don't get their own version. A lot of y'all women get spared so much because men don't run their mouth. If men ran their mouth half as much as y'all ran y'all mouth, a lot of y'all would be in trouble. A lot of y'all. Because everything that these men be guilty of, y'all be guilty of and more. If these men get an app where they can expose anonymously the trifling women that a lot of y'all are, y'all gonna be in trouble. Y'all gonna be in a lot of trouble. A lot of y'all been smashing a lot of men in y'all cities, right? Y'all done got around, and it's gonna get bigger than just barbershop talk where they can compare notes about y'all. They'll have a whole app where they can show and talk about how many of y'all done smashed how many dudes in the city, right? All of the nasty things you done to those dudes on the first meetup. How many of y'all done lied about being pregnant? How many of y'all done put babies on men that didn't even belong to them? How many of y'all done had trains ran on you? Talk about your hygiene and how some of y'all cat be stank. How nasty a lot of y'all are when it comes to how clean you keep the place that you stay. How well you take care of your kids. How some of y'all are deadbeats, but you live in the house with your children. Like,
now, this is a thing I've been noticing about the nature of male and female online discourse, right? A lot of what women say about men is effectively slander, right? Like, men have long been accused, like black men have long been accused of just abandoning their children. Like, he just knocked me up and the nigga left town or something. And the thing is, where are the numbers on that, right? Where are the actual numbers on something like female childhood abandonment, like your father abandonment or whatever you want to call it, right? And so because something like that isn't categorized, it's hard to document or it hasn't been documented, you just get to say whatever. And then even like now, when we start talking about things on this Manosphere podcast, and the men get to tell their story, you find out it's hard to really prove the levels of women have actually been abandoned as soon as they got pregnant. Like, the dude went to get cigarettes and never came back. But we can actually document women who just write down some guy's name for child support, and now he got to go fight the government for a kid that he never even met this woman before. We have been able to document how many women actually put false charges on a guy. There was that one case that was kind of famous. I think he was an ex-ball player or something. Some girl said that he hit her while she was hitting him on his Ring camera. She went and told her brothers that he hit on her, and then her brothers came to the house and he had to gun them down. Like, we have been able to put some truth to their lives. And so what I think has happened, the same thing with the T-app. Women get on the T-app and you can say anything about a guy and it'll be taken as some kind of truth. But as soon as guys start telling the actual documented, observable truth about women, as soon as they start putting them videos that they've been holding on to on their phones, all of a sudden it's a crime and your feelings are hurting. We got to stop this. It's revenge porn.
Y'all truly don't want this to get to the point where men can expose y'all. And we ain't even gonna get into the pictures and videos that a lot of these men got of y'all, because y'all just be sending nudes to anybody. Like, it could get real wild out here in these streets. So this is a slippery slope with this whole
mutual assured destruction. I don't know if women can be trusted to understand and maintain that kind of detente, but that's really the state that we were in. And guys are like, okay, go for it. You put it out there, I'll put it out there.
Exposing people's type stuff, and especially when it's only one side and then you can only get one version of the story. Y'all better get on y'all knees and pray that these men don't get an opportunity to expose y'all, because us men and women who have lived decent lives and we've lived lives that we can be proud of, there's nothing to expose. So we could care less about these apps, right? Don't matter. App for men, app for women, there's nothing to expose. We don't go around sleeping with a whole bunch of people and involving ourselves with a whole bunch of people. So there ain't nothing to say about us. So we safe.
Not the cold facts, bro. If white men came up with an app just for the white women in their local towns, oh, that would be horrendous. The Cole app would destroy the white community, bro. You might want to pump the brakes on the Cole app. I don't know if you're ready for the Cole app. I don't know if you're ready to actually have to look at all these women with the with the hard eye. You're not ready to look at every single woman a little bit differently, bro. I don't know if you want to black pill yourself like that. The Cole app, I'm telling you, it's going to tear families apart.
The tea is shaking, the tea app, that is. Everybody is talking about the new tea app for women to find out about the men in their area and see whether or not they hold red or green flags. There's a lot to this story. I've seen so much tea spilt already. So let's talk about it. Now, first off, you cannot screenshot on the T app at all. So I had to go ahead and get the information how I got the information. So it says our safety tools, run background checks, check criminal records, search for ex-offenders, look up the phone number, reverse the image search, and find social media profiles. So my best friend Savannah, she went on the T app yesterday, right? And she said you can only put in somebody's first name. There's no like last name. And if you don't know the guy's name, you could try to put in the nickname or what they're known by, but you can put the city and the picture up. This is a bad screenshot, but you see what say how the
That's crazy. They don't even have to have your real name. They're going to put up your street name. That's Lil Tay from Chicago. He be over there on 125th and House Street. You know them little shitty apartments over there, them little rundown apartments. That's where he be at. This is a straight up gossip character defamation
It
app.
works. Everything is anonymous. Screenshots are impossible. So I wasn't able to do that. All women are verified. So trying to get on this app, they had to verify me first. I'm not verified, but like I said, my best friend Savannah was on there all day yesterday. And I'm going to tell you what she saw on there. Messy tea on there. She said you can access all the posts across the entire nation. You can search all the posts in the country by a man's name. You can set an alert for a man's name. So if your man's name is Leviticus and his name ain't on there yet, you could set up a alarm for Leviticus in Arkansas.
Which one of you hoes is dating a nigga named Leviticus from Arkansas? Now I'm curious. I want to see a picture. Which one of y'all did it?
She said we donate 10% of all 10% to all national domestic violence hotlines, which is really tea. No pun intended. Well, this is me on the waiting list. It said I'm expected to wait like 17 hours. I did send it to my best friend Brittany so she could be like invited, and that's going to jump me in the line, but I have to wait now. Now, let me tell you what people been coming up with on this T app. So I'm on TikTok last night. You see in the corner, I'm uploading. I don't even scroll like that. The only time I'm ever scrolling.
Damn, Chocolate Bunny, you heard about Leviticus, huh? That nigga on the grapevine. Damn, women got a whole dick grapevine. Rumor has it is a nigga in Arkansas named Leviticus. God damn, women is crazy with it. She done heard about Leviticus. I ain't even know nothing. I mean, why would I know about Leviticus? Y'all girls be doing all kind of stuff in the dark.
To find news or to upload and like kind of wait a little bit. Man, this came across my timeline. This guy Gatsby, okay? Gatsby, look at his profile so you can make sure it's him. Y'all, he told a story about him talking about his friend getting like their information put out by a trans woman. So the trans woman basically tried to expose his cisgendered male friend, right? Tried to say they was messing around. The friend called Gatsby and was like, y'all got to beat her up. You know, they trying to do all this stuff, expose me to my tea, whatever. Boom. So Gatsby said one of his female friends called him and was like, your boy on the T app. So we sent a picture like, oh, this is my boy. Remember, I told y'all the story because he told a story time about that same young man and the trans girl. So he had the female friend contact the person like, tell me more about dude. Do you know that the trans lady sent the girl, because you can only get on this app if you're a girl. You got to send your pictures and everything. Literally sent the girlfriend.
You can only get on this app if you're a girl. There's transgenders on the app. Did I hear that correctly? You can only get on this app if you're a girl, but there are transgenders on the
and
app.
The trans girl. So he had the female friend contact the person like, tell me more about dude. Do you know that the trans lady sent the girl, because you can only get on this app if you're a girl. You got to send your pictures and everything.
So they're communicating through the app. The app is only for girls. There's a transgender on the app.
How do it equivalent?
Literally sent the girlfriend videos of dude getting his back blown out and blowing backs out. Taking it and giving it down. And you tried to have your friends harm that TS lady. Talk like it wasn't really true. All of that messy. My other girlfriend that was on the app, y'all, trigger warning. She saw one of her friends' baby daddies on there. And the baby daddy, it looked like it had like 50 or 60 something women saying that he's a rapist. And so my friend, she called her friend whose baby dad that was. And the girl was like, I've been telling girls to stay away from him for years. Y'all thought I was playing? that he like tries to take girls' money, lies about how much he really got, and he will beat you and he will grape you. They're on there telling the tea on the T app.
You know the crazy thing about a story like that? There is a good 3 to 5% of women who will hear that story and something in them will jump. Something in their nether regions will twitch a little bit. They will hear that story and be like, oh, he did all that? Really? Like something in their vagina will literally scream, I can fix him. Like a woman would hear all that story, 50 to 60 women. They said he's a rapist. He'll beat you up and take your money. He'll yell at your kids. He'll try to have sex with your grandma. They'll hear that whole thing, and then something in her vagina says, I can fix him.
But there's also on there, they said that there's like green flags. So if you post a dude and you're like, y'all tell me about Sammy, and everybody's like, green flags on Sammy. That's a good guy. That's the homeboy. He worked down to the job with me. So you might be accidentally promoting your man for girls that might want to see him, but you're also might be, letting the world know when somebody is a jerk. So I say everybody get on this app. Do not abuse this app, and really let's see what's going on with the tea.
Let me put this in stupid bitch terms for y'all. The ones that are fucking up the T app and letting the men know that they're actually on the T app. The moment that you read out loud or you get that stinky ass iPad and you fucking record what people are saying when it's supposed to be anonymous, they're going to put 2 and 2 together. They're going to know, oh my gosh, I went through this with XYZ, with Brittany or whoever the fuck. And guess what? I'm going to reach out to Brittany and I'm either going to put her in harm's way or I'm going to send out that cease and desist letter. I'm going to get lawyers involved. Some of those men that you're posting on that app have money. Play ball. Y'all are fucking up the game so unconsciously, y'all don't even realize. So yeah, that same little username that you were using to comment about the
Yeah, real quick too. True Hype with the $2 super chat. He says, how do they know that they aren't lying? I mean, honestly, because it's an app for women, so does it even matter if it's true or not? That's literally the problem with the app. The nature of women, they don't really need truth. They just need to hear things.
different guys that you fooled with or to say whatever, and you're also not using allegedly. Hello? Do y'all have pebbles in your fucking brains? Let me tell you something. This shit is going to be a downfall. Like, this shit is going to bite a lot of y'all in the ass. And God forbid you're fucking lying. God forbid you're lying. The intention of the app, chef's kiss. You're finding out about guys that was beating up their ex-girlfriends, sexually assaulting, like everything under the sun that you could think of, it's there. However,
I mean, really, that's the kind of information you would want from a background check. Because if the police didn't get involved, then how do we know for a fact it's real? I mean, maybe she can put some pictures of her black eye, but then how do I know you the one that did it? Like, there's too many gaps here. Police, I need the police case or it's not real.
You absolutely have to use the word allegedly. Let me warn you bitches now.
So y'all females must forgot that niggas got homegirls, you feel me? So me and my homegirl chatting up and I brought up the T app. And she's like, oh, you wondering if you on there? And I'm like, shit, let's go see. And she's like, all right, bet. So let's go look. We was looking to see if I was on that motherfucker. Good thing I'm not on that bitch. But we come across one of our homeboys that we know real fucking well. And they in the comments saying all this shit that this nigga did. And we know this nigga ain't do that shit. So y'all getting on there lying? I thought the app was to keep y'all safe. You feel me? Like, what the fuck? Y'all getting on that bitch starting shit, gang. Like the app is supposed to keep y'all safe. Why the fuck are y'all on there showing, like, why y'all on there clowning niggas saying that they dick little and shit? Or like, that's, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck does the nigga dick got to do with y'all safety? What the fuck does the nigga not being 6 foot tall with dreads have to do with y'all fucking safety? Just on there running it.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I probably talked the top 10, top 5 supervillain bulls in Philly, and he ain't even on that, okay? That's how I know for some of this, y'all doing a little too much, and I hate to side with men. But this was supposed to be solidarity and us warning women on dangerous men, and y'all just talking about with each other niggas. Like, come on, let's grow up a little bit. Then I don't want to see the underage boys on the app. Come on, like, let's grow up a lot of it. Like, what is this for?
Yeah, Dolomite, the T app has made it unsafe for men. The whole thing, this is a crazy backfire when you think about it. The T app was supposed to be putting men out there for how horrible and disgusting a lot of men are. And what did I just say earlier, bro? I know I had to learn, personally from life experience, before the internet was popping. I had to learn women are actually pretty savage if you just sit back and pay attention. They try to hide it with makeup and mini skirts and whatnot, but they're ruthless, bro.
Y'all really going on rants trying to bash these little boys talking about something. Oh, he a little boy and he got all these. Ho, why would you not ask him his age? Then on top of that, I wouldn't have to ask that little boy his age to know he was 16. Y'all scared and y'all weird for that. Number one. Number two, why do I keep seeing the same comment repeated over and over again? Oh my gosh, when I reply to his DM, he unfollowed me. What you expect him to do? Follow you to the ends of the earth, ho? You ain't that special. What did y'all expect? And then when a guy is DMing you constantly, then he's a stalker and he's talking to himself and he's a weirdo and he's Joe. Yo, y'all need to pick a in between. Pick a in between, please. Then it's like the DL allegations. Yes, some of them need to be said because some of y'all be DL. There's no need to be DL. Like, be so for real. Just come out the closet. Y'all not even hiding it for real. It's really glass, see-through, not giving nothing. Then it's like y'all be saying that, and it's like the two things that a girl gonna say when she don't want you to talk to her man is he's DL or it's little, which I don't feel like y'all should keep saying because it's like it make y'all more scared because it's like y'all knew the whole time. But it's like I would know if somebody DL even by the picture, and it's like y'all know how they be acting towards that. So some of that do need to chill. Y'all just are just speaking out your ass. But other than that, all the women who is coming to warn us, all that, the positive stuff, period, y'all. Do your thing and keep doing that. But I'm not about to sit up here and lie. Y'all really do need to chill. Y'all really do need to chill.
Now, apparently they have a website where all the women who got doxxed from the T app, they're now being ranked. I think this is the link that Freeman sent to me earlier. Wow, the number one woman up, the top woman is a damn Dr. Pepper can. That's crazy. There was this thing going around recently called the cooked man, the chopped man epidemic. You guys heard about? So basically, the idea is that allegedly that there are all these unattractive men going around. Oh, whoa. Why did you tell me to click bottom 50? Which one of you did it? Hold on. You, nigga. Red. That was all you, Red. You the one said bottom 50, and I clicked bottom 50. Ooh. Damn. Whoa. You guys remember that movie Misery with Kathy Bates where she had that writer held hostage? There was that one famous scene where she like hobbled him, she broke his ankles or whatever. All of these women look like the Kathy Bates character from Misery. Like they would all kidnap you and read to you and try to cripple you so you couldn't escape. And I bet you these are some of the like angriest, most vitriolic women. This one right here looks like a mugshot. You look like you just got arrested after a long night of drinking and car theft. Oh man. A lot of these faces are noticeably round, though. very few like sharp angles to the faces. And I mean, and you know, those ones aren't that cute either, but just noticing a lot of cheek meat. Like I didn't scroll through like 48 pounds of cheek meat. Like every one of them, just a fat, just cut face. Like, oh my goodness, man. America has a weight problem. It really does. America definitely has a weight problem. We can't really get around it. Man, oh man. The double chin app is horrific. I don't want to look at this anymore. I'm leaving.
Women are anonymously spilling the tea on men they've dated on a new viral app, which has just been hacked after gaining a huge influx of new users.
Ryan in Newport Beach, here's his review. Dated him for 2 years to find out when he went on his work trip, he was actually going on his honeymoon.
Upon opening tea, users can see photos of local men along with their names. They can leave red flags or green flags, as well as comments, including about negative date experiences or even vouching for them as a friend. The app also lets users run background checks, search for criminal histories, and even reverse image search to check if a man is catfishing.
I just found out the guy I've been seeing has a whole girlfriend. Like, he's in a relationship of 5 years, and I'm not the only other girl he's talking to.
While the company says their mission is to keep women safe, they've also faced backlash from men who say they fear being misrepresented or doxxed on the platform.
I had a female friend of mine go undercover on the T app, and I found that there were some women talking about me. They were clearly just upset. They felt that they got slighted. Is there anything we could do about this? This is defamation. This is entirely untrue.
T promises anonymity to its users, but on Friday morning, it confirmed to NBC News that 72,000 photos were accessed without authorization, including 13,000 account verification photos that were supposed to be kept private. Now it's possible that some of those identifying images are being leaked online. Online spaces for women to talk about men they've dated are not new. You may have heard of the Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook groups, which have received their own share of controversy and have even faced lawsuits, which were later dismissed. But some on the app are now saying they feel the app is geared more toward gossip than safety concerns, and that can lead to cyberbullying, especially since the women are supposed to be anonymous while the men remain public. As of now, it's still the #1 app on the Apple App Store, and that's because women are anonymously spilling the tea on men they've dated on a new viral app, which has just been hacked after gaining a huge influx of new users.
Ryan.
Yo, all y'all on that new T app? 3 girls getting leaked. It was a big data breach. Every woman who put someone's picture up there is cooked. They got all the pictures. So basically, if you put your ID, which you need your ID to put someone's face on there, you're cooked. They got your photo, they got who you put on there, and everybody knows. They even got y'all IDs, bro. They're locked in. This is a dub for the dudes out here. If you seen yourself on that app, you're able to literally see the person's ID and the person's face who put it on there because there was a data breach. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If your face is on there, bro, go on there right the fuck now. And these look like the people who would be on there. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, but what if it was little kids doing this and like they put their mom's face and now it's their mom's face on here? Now that would be crazy. For all my guys, bro, hey, we putting out the great news now. Hey, all y'all cheaters out there, all y'all crazy dudes out there, hey, spam up the dubs. Because y'all life might actually be saved. This T app is actually getting cooked. And they're going through fire right now. This app might actually get deleted, not even just because of the data breach. Hey, rest in peace, T app already. It only went viral for like 1 or 2 days. Yo.
T app was a good thing. Here's why. This app was never about women's safety, nor was it about men's safety. However, it did prove how easily people give away their personal information. And in this case, literally for nothing, less than nothing. You gave away your location, a current photo of yourself, and possibly where you work in exchange for the opportunity to give away some guy's location, a current photo of him, and possibly where he worked. And if I'm being entirely honest, it was all in the marketing strategy. The T app has existed since 2023.
The T app feels like the greatest open honeypot scam ever. Like, this is the most incredible honeypot phishing scheme ever. And I'm pretty sure Scott has ties to the Mossad. You guys remember Scott, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has connections to the Mossad. It's crazy. You guys just gave Scott all your information. Look at that guy. You gave him your driver's license. That's wild.
It only received its recent surge in popularity because all you needed to see was one video telling you men hate this app. Does that sound familiar? If not, I suggest you look into the marketing strategy behind any popular relationship book from the early 2000s. It is literally the exact same verbiage. This app was able to use your reckless emotions and hatred for absolute strangers to market itself. You were the marketing strategy. Now, there's a lot of people who looked at this and knew not to sign up. But if you're someone who fell for the bait, it's okay. Just recognize it and make better decisions. T-App was a good.
The way you feel, baby, and the way you feel. His teeth is yellow. He got a girl. He got a girlfriend. He got a girlfriend. He got a girlfriend. Oh. Not my man.
I thought the woman's T-App was bad. They got videos on there of them girls getting cracked. Yes, cracked. They're posting.
And that's the big problem with the men's versus the women, right? If you tell, as a woman, if you say, oh, this guy's a bad guy, he doesn't take care of his kids, blah, 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 blah. He punched me one time, blah, 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 blah. I mean, maybe the guy looks bad. Maybe, right? But then he comes back with a video of you giving a BJ to his brother and all of his cousins. All of a sudden, everything you said about him doesn't really hit as hard as you wanted it to hit. Now we looking at you like, well, I kind of understand why he tripping.
Pictures and videos of each of them doing shit to these girls. Nah, this ain't fair. This is not fair. Women don't get that shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie, this is crazy. They're fucking these same bitches. And niggas are posting this shit like it's normal. And the men don't just have one app. No. We got Matcha and we got T-Born, which none of them are in the app store right now. But I just went on the Matcha's page and 2 minutes ago they said it was available. So it must be available today. And these apps are wicked, bro. I think the T-Born one is where you can post vids and pictures. Don't quote me on that. But one of them is. I seen multiple TikToks, bro. They're not playing. I don't know who the hell had these apps in their vaults, but they're bringing them out now. They seeing that they're making bread. They're bringing them out now. They all got took from the app store. That's how bad it was. They even in the comments talk about it'll be back today. Hey, I won't go on there if you're suspecting your bitch, bro. They might have a vid of your girl getting cracked on there. I'm sorry. I thought the woman's T-App was bad. They got videos on there.
Ain't nothing like truth to ruin a woman's reputation, man. That's the thing. You want to mess a guy up, you lie about him. You want to mess a woman up, you tell the truth about her. Face Facts with the $4.99. He says, rainbow men don't even like women. They call them fish. How many women will lose jobs for posting government IDs? Bruh, I saw some interesting IDs up there, man. State Department photos and whatnot.
Hey, if you didn't hear, the T-App just got breached. All you shawties that were hiding behind usernames, your information just got put out there and dudes can go look it up. Nah, don't scroll, pay attention. As you guys know, the T-App basically was where women can secretly talk about men having all types of diseases, being deadbeats, or red flags. Well, all that info just got leaked because the owner of the app did not take the time to protect y'all selfies that y'all was taking to get into the app or your IP addresses, allegedly. So look like the dude that y'all posted, he got y'all usernames, y'all faces, and y'all addresses, posted it on a website where it shows a map of all y'all locations.
Shout out to women protecting women. This has been the greatest L of the modern gender war. The digital gender war hasn't seen an L this big ever. This is huge. Y'all just looking real crazy right now.
So if you were commenting or uploading things about dudes on there, yeah, it's not looking too good. The regular dudes are going to file for defamation. But the crazy men that y'all posted on there, now knowing y'all low and who was talking about them, please, I'm begging you, please
find protection, protect yourself, maybe delete your account. Well, it's kind of too late to delete your account. I ain't gonna lie, the owner of the app about to get a fat lawsuit, bro. I'm praying for all the innocent people who information was leaked. Yeah, I need to sue that app. Hey, if you didn't hear, the T app just got breached. All you shawties that were hiding behind usernames.
I'm on the T app? Just see you on the T app. Nay, I will sue you for defamation of character. No, you did not. No. You ain't got to mute her, cuz. You ain't got to mute her phone. She good, but I'm just saying. I got me on the T app, but I don't talk. I got me on the T app. Wait, see who on the T app?
So as y'all can see, they got me on this T ad, but I got some tea for y'all. So the girl who posted this claims I have STDs. I walk around with them, and I don't get changed. And saying somebody has STDs is a big allegation. But it's an even bigger allegation when you say that knowing you going, knowing you easy. Like, shorty, come on, you let me crack in 2 days. There's no way. Plus, the homies have hit too. I've heard the stories. I've seen the videos. And then on top of that, this situation is always flipped. This was like months ago. You know what I'm saying? I did feel bad. I told my girlfriend, we went to go get checked. I'm not gonna lie. We don't have a damn thing. So, bitch, you just exposed yourself. And bitch, you a dumbass too. You feel me? I live for this drama. You made that post because you're mad. You know what I'm saying? You're fatherless. You have no ass, no titties, no weight. You look like a slave, bitch.
Bruh. This is what I'm, listen, man, mutually assured destruction. I told you this is how it would be. Because you got to understand, when you out there, you got to be out there with no F's to give. Because what are you really going to say to me after I cracked you? What are you really going to say to me? Nothing matters after I cracked, right? And now you're going to try to talk crazy about me after I cracked you. So even if it's true he had an STD, you got cracked by the STD. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good.
Does anyone else think that the T app was really just a setup? Is a man created that app. And how do you get a ton of female engagement? You tell them, hey girls, this is a spot where you can come talk about all your bad dates. And just to make sure you're a real lady, why don't you go ahead and take a selfie and take a picture of your license? Did that not sound sketchy from the get-go to anybody else from the very beginning? Because to me, that sounds like data collection for nefarious purposes. And while we're at it, you know how to just not have bad dates? Stop dating fucking losers. Stop it. Does anyone else think that the T app was really just a setup?
Breaking down what the fuck is going on TikTok today, the T app data breach explained. The T app is meant to be a dating safety network application where women can go in to review men. They upload a picture of him and they say, does anyone know him? Red flag, green flag, leave reviews, leave comments. And it's basically like a Yelp for men. So this app's been around for a while, but July 2025, it went viral on TikTok, accumulated 4 million users. It became #1 in the App Store. It's meant to help women filter out shitty men they're about to go on dates with from dating apps. Because on dating apps, you can go on a date with anyone. You're scrolling on there and there's a guy that you're interested in that you're about to go on a date with, and you see him and you're like, oh shit, he has 5 different red flags. So this app is meant to help you decide, should I go on a date with a stranger? How many red flags or green flags does he have? People are uploading pictures of people. In the T app, there's no men, women only. In order to get into the T app, you have to upload a picture of your ID because it's used as selfie verification. Because remember, no men are allowed on this app. And also another rule is that you cannot screenshot things and post them online or send them to guys, because the whole point of this app is dating safety network. So we don't want to piss off these men by telling them, oh, you're on the app. Like, no. This kind of reminds me of the concept of, are we dating the same guy? That shit is wild. And from a lot of the reviews that I saw of these people being on the T app, they were saying, girl, what do you mean, is he a red flag or green flag? That man looks like a walking red flag. So anyways, I guess very heinous men on the T app. And are we dating the same guy? So anyways, the T app data breach, July 25th, 2025, T app data breach happened. 72,000 images were leaked. 13,000 of those were IDs that were used for selfie verification. Because remember, to get into the T app, you had to upload a picture of your ID to verify that you were a woman. So that way they could keep them in the fucking fuck out. And 59 profile pictures and media posts and messages were all leaked as well. So this only affected users that joined the app before February 2024. This app just started getting popular on TikTok recently. So if you joined after February 2024, you're fine. But if you joined before February 2024, you are going to get a pretty penny from this lawsuit. So how the fuck did the T-app data breach happen? Well, apparently there was an exposed Firebase bucket. I don't know what the fuck that means, but what I do know is that apparently all of this information, like the images, the selfies, all of that, it's stored in like a T private photos file, like in the cloud, for example. And they didn't put a password on that shit. So this folder was not locked. Apparently there was like some metadata or URL, and the hacker, we're not going to call the hacker a hacker because all they did was like Tumblr-esque, like tracing metadata back kind of shit. And they found the folder, saw that it was unlocked. They downloaded everything, comments, posts, pictures, people's addresses from their IDs, and uploaded online to the shared map. So what started off as a dating safety network app to help women stay away from fucking freaks, now thousands of women's information is out to the public on a little map with their addresses pinpointed on there.
Women can't be trusted with their own safety. That's all I keep hearing. Women just can't be trusted with their own safety. It's a terrible problem. We're going to have to figure that out.
I don't give a fuck.
Karma has to take its place, and karma has definitely took its place. All the women up there that was talking shit behind their phone in their comfort zone, talking about other grown-ass men because they mad about men, this and that bullshit and stuff. Well, they just link all their fucking photos and all their information. Look here what we got here. Notice off rip. It's just these types of females that are just a big-ass bag of fucking milk. That's who they are. Bag of fucking milk. And then I'm not going to add their photos up close because I'm not going to get in trouble for it. But I'm pretty sure some of you guys already seen their damn photos, and majority of them, all of them, being that they are just a bunch of bag of milk.
He sounds really angry. He must be in that early red pill stage. Like he just took the red pill. He's really angry. Like a burning up.
But they also disgusting. One of them, I seen a picture. I will tell you this. I saw a picture of one of the females that he exposed up there. She didn't have no fucking neck. She had a fucking saggy ass jawline. She was fat. It was just straight females like that talking shit behind the phone about another grown ass fucking man. And now they are heated right now because their faces are being exposed and their information is being exposed. What? That's fair game. Y'all fell for the bait. Whoever created that app, I'm pretty sure it was a dude. And I'm happy whoever you are that created the T app and you hacked that shit and you link all the information. Congratulations, bro.
I think it is kind of peak irony that all of these allegedly straight women, they fell for a gay man's honeypot. This is literally what it is. It was a gay man's honeypot, and a bunch of straight women fell in it because they wanted to talk shit about their men.
Congratulations. I appreciate you. And most men out here appreciate you from exposing these types of low, bottom of the barrel, fat, and out of shape chicks that's talking shit behind the goddamn phone about another grown ass man. I'm pretty sure there is a spot for you in heaven for you, my friend. Because literally, man, all these females talking shit, talking about men got eggs, got all like HIV, all this stuff. They've been talking shit. But as soon as their information get linked, I know y'all see this shit, bro. Some of them had a bunch of fucking acne on their face, looking like a piece of fucking chewed up fucking rock. That's what they look like. That's the same people that is literally commenting negative shit at the bottom of your goddamn comment section on your videos, which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a few of them commenting down below right fucking now.
All right, I'm gonna leave him. I don't like your energy. You're just a little angry, a little hostile nigga.
Right. And it is so refreshing and like such a good feeling to not have anybody to post to get information about. Like I am just at peace and loving it. Yeah, so while I'm on the T app, right? And it is so refreshing. And
oh, bitch. Oh. So listen to me. Listen, Linda. So there was a data breach leak. They leaked all of these photos of these women, y'all. They leaked all of them. Oh my God. They leaked photos, driver's licenses. Now, mind y'all, I ain't gotten the app. I just deleted the shit. I don't even want no parts of this shenanigans that y'all got. I don't want no parts of the debauchery. I don't want none of it. Damn it. God got his hands on me because I'm glad that I didn't get on there. I wasn't going to post nobody. I'm in a relationship, so I wasn't going to post nobody. I was just going to be nosy. But you know what? God said that, you know what, sometimes you just need to just leave stuff alone. And I'm glad that I did because they got all y'all pictures up there. And I know for sure you sign up for the app, they ask you to take a picture right there to make sure that you are not a boy, that you're not a boy. You can't be a boy, you can't be a man, you can't have testicles on this app.
What is a boy though? Like, how are you going to actually hold that line? There's already transgenders on the app. You girls have already been infiltrated. You were infiltrated before the war even started.
It ain't no filters. Ain't no filters when y'all posting pics. And get through, so I'm not part of y'all data breach. They got all y'all information, y'all. Abort mission. Abort mission. But it's too damn late. Y'all done posted passes on there. Some woman on here asking how her damn daddy on here. This woman probably about 64 years old, and y'all done posted the pastor? Oh my God. There is even a guy on here right now who is having like a conversation with ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is giving him the sauce, y'all, on what could possibly happen if this app continues. He's talking about Armageddon when it comes to the dating apps, okay? Considering that Bumble already is laying off people, they already losing money. Because these apps are going to possibly scare men off of the online dating scene. These online dating sites can potentially start losing money. That's when them billionaires is going to start swooping on in. And I mean billionaires like Elon Musk, Zuckerberg. Said that once these men get a hold of this app, it's going to be trouble for a lot of people. A lot of people, to the point to where they will literally have it to where your information, your picture, not only show your picture in your profile, it will include any type of criminal background, any type of legal disputes, whether it is child support, whether it is divorce, anything that you have done in your life outside of this profile will be put on these apps. Told y'all last, y'all talk too much. Y'all should zip it. Y'all should have said shit. Should have kept y'all conversations on y'all damn cell phones in these group chats. These men, listen, as Coochie runs the world, men have the power to buy that shit and pimp it off. They're about to pimp off y'all information. Oh, bitch.
So, looks like the ladies took a big L on the T app. It's crazy how that happened. And it was such a good idea, right? We're going to protect women. We're going to talk about the bad men out there. As it turns out, the women, you can't stand the heat of a similar app for men. And you girls just gave up all your information. Now you got this whole data leak problem. Next thing you know, you're going to be paying random Amazon bills and whatnot. It's all bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. But anyway, that has been the Sunday morning tea. We will be back tomorrow with another show. I'm going to go run some errands, maybe go fishing later. I'm going to take a me day. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you later, man.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help Black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.